Okay, so my name is Cheryle Pacapelli. I am a person in long-term recovery for 32 years, and I got into recovery on June 29th, 1989. So I think I'm in my 32nd year. You know, it's a lot of math. And you know, what long-term recovery means to me is that I haven't had a drink or used any kind of a mood-altering substance in that amount of time. So I end up in this emergency room where, you know, they got an EKG on me and I'm sneaking a couple of lines of cocaine, you know, in the ER, just totally unbeknownst to me, like what's going on. And I end up, you know, they admit me. So this happened at 4 o'clock in the morning. By 7, I was in treatment. Now, if somebody had told me at 4 o'clock in the morning, call me back tomorrow, or call me back every day for the next week, or we might have a bed for you in 3 weeks, there is no way I would be sitting here today talking about my recovery story. Access to treatment has to be immediate. In 2005, my fiance, who had struggled with addiction his whole life, took his life by suicide. And, you know, it was such a hard time to go through that. And I remember like sitting on the porch with the police there and just like thinking, you know, somebody just like take the pain away, you know. And I knew that drugs or alcohol could take that pain away. And I also knew that my life would end too. And I didn't want that to happen. And so I made it through that initial couple of hours with the police and the medical examiner and all that stuff. And by the time I got home, this was on December 10th, so it was right before the holidays. My house was filled with people from my 12-step program. And they just wrapped themselves around me and didn't let me go until I could walk by myself. So I don't remember a whole lot about that time. I remember sitting in one spot on the couch with a blanket around me and 30 or 40 people in my house, and they're eating and putting up a Christmas tree and, you know, cooking food. Like, it was like I was watching a movie going on in my house. And, you know, they all supported me through the whole funeral, and I got through that without using a drink or a drug. And then after Dave died, my son started using heroin and became an intravenous drug user. And so I spent every day thinking like he wasn't going to live. And I would bring him to treatment. So now I was, you know, I had my own recovery to worry about. I had this loss I was trying to process, and I had my only child that I was thinking I was going to die every day. And, you know, I would bring him to treatment. When he would call, I would bring him to cop drugs, just like every mother talks about, you know, even though I knew from my own program, like, I shouldn't be doing that, but I did it. And then eventually, my son called me from treatment, and I was like, oh my God, how did you get there? And he said, Ma, like, really? I know how to get there. Like, I was just using you to get $20 every time I called you. And I'm like, all right, you know, that's whatever, just stay. Can you stay? And he's like, yeah, I'm staying. And today, I have to say, today my son is in recovery. He now has a master's degree from George Washington University for public health. He lives on a river like this in New Jersey with his wife and 2 children, and is learning how to surf, you know, and has an absolutely blessed life, and I am just the proudest mother. Today I work as the project director at Harbor Care, overseeing the contracts for all the recovery centers in New Hampshire. And there's 17 of them today. So I am like totally blessed when you hear where I came from 32 years ago to be doing like my dream job.